Hey guys, I have an over-the-board game to share with you from tonight, but I have to issue a warning. This is ugly. It's filthy. I don't know what to say about this game. So we're going to go through the game first on my study here on Lichess with no annotations or anything. And you have to guess the ELO, or the predicted ELO, for both players for this game. There's nothing else for it. I'm just going to dive in. Okay, you ready? Okay, hold on to your hats. So I've got the black pieces. My opponent is Liam Arch from Ravenfield. We have e4, e5. And we have a King's Gambit. And King's Gambit is one of the openings I hate playing against the most. So I played this c6 line, and normally your opponent will develop the knight, then you play d5, normally they'll take, you push, and that is not what happened in the game. In the game, my opponent took on e5. Now, if you're a King's Gambit player, there's one rule. You never take on e5. Okay. Because obviously the problem is the queen h file check. If they push g3, you take here and the rook hangs. Okay? Now, so I play queen h4 check. There's only two moves here. There's that or there's that. Okay? My opponent plays g6. And my opponent's playing really quickly as well, by the way. I take the pawn with check. This is a fork on king and rook. He blocks with the queen. I think for a minute, and I take the rook. Because I know that in the King's Gambit, this is a blunder, right? You take the rook, black is winning. Okay? Fair enough. We have knight f3. So right now my queen can't get out. Okay. So I'm thinking I need to get my queen out at some point. And I spy that the queen and the bishop are in line here. And I decide to play the move b6 with the idea of getting my bishop to a6 with a skewer on here. It's defended by the knight, and then after I played the move, I realised my opponent can just block with d3. Okay, he brings out his knight. I'm thinking, hello, this is interesting, and I'm thinking, does he want to bring the knight around here and actually win my queen? And he's playing quickly, right? So I play my bishop out to c5, thinking that at least I'm covering a couple of squares here. I guess he has d4, but instead, and because this is what I'm thinking, I don't want him to play his knight round to here, okay, and trap my queen with knight f2, because then the queen literally has nowhere to go. Knight guards this, bishop guards this, everything's covered. So that's the reason for bishop c5, just attacking these two squares, controlling these two squares. Then my opponent plays knight d1. I'm thinking, oh no, right? Is this some evil prep that I've fallen into? Is there some trap of trapping black's queen in this? Okay, so I have a think. I see I can't really play bishop a6 because he just blocks. But at least my bishop is still guarding these two squares, right? So I think for a bit, I also want to get my king off of this line as well. Obviously I can't push either pawn because he just takes with the discovered check. So I decide to block with knight e7. And now we have pawn c3. So I'm guessing the idea here is to push this. All right. So, and that would allow the knight to come in and trap my queen. So now I play bishop a6. And this is what I'm thinking. He can't now play this because his queen's hanging, right? If he plays d3, he can't play d4 because his queen will hang, okay? And he does indeed play d3. Now, what do we do, right? Do I castle? What's the idea? So, incredible game. Just astonishing. Alright, so I decided to play knight f5. I'm thinking, the very least I can maybe take here, get my queen out, but then I realise actually it's not as easy as all that either, right? So I've just blocked this with my knight. Now I've moved my knight away, but I am at least getting ready to castle. Opponent now plays g4. And I had a look at knight here, trying to fork the queen. But if I play my knight here, I realise he can take, and actually my queen is still trapped. The knight covers that square, the bishop covers that square, the knight covers this square, the pawn covers this square, and this bishop covers this square. And I can't go there because of the knight, and I can't go there because of the bishop, so I'm still trapped. So that doesn't work. So the only thing I can think of is knight h4, to sacrifice my knight, and then my queen can come out to d5, which is exactly what happens, right? He takes here, and I decide to retrieve my queen. Now I did think, is there like an in-between move? Can I afford to castle here, for example? And I just thought, no, I want to get my queen out, whatever, okay? So out comes the queen. He now comes in attacking, okay? And so I think the most important thing, let's get the king off there. So I decide to castle. All right. And now pawn to b4, and I realise my bishop is almost trapped. The only safe square I have is g1, but I'm up a rook, right? Well, rook for a knight right now because I've sacked my knight. Okay. So I could play this, but then I thought it's kind of trivial for him to come across and trap the bishop. Okay. So I'm thinking, look, his king and queen are in the middle of the board. I'm potentially threatening the rook here, but my knight can't come out to connect the rook, so my rook would actually be undefended there. So, you know, the idea of pinning the queen to the king may not work either. So here, I decide to sack the bishop now. Pawn takes. Okay, and now, how's his king going to get safe? Is he going to get castled? All right, so now rook e1, and I'm threatening to take here with the rook or the queen. I'm still up in material. In fact, I'm not up in material because I've lost two minor pieces for a rook and a pawn, effectively. Opponent now brings out the knight, hitting my queen again. And I'm thinking, this is just... Okay, so the trap didn't work, but I'm not ahead materially. Positionally, I don't know, he's got these two active knights, he's paired knights in the middle of the board. It's still just very, very nervous, okay? But I decide to take the pawn here, also hitting the rook. And opponent now plays bishop b2, hitting my queen again. So, where can my queen go to safety? I decide to slide across here, targeting this pawn, which would come with check. Okay. Alright, come on, hold yourself together, Hunty. Right. Now he spies a fork on rook and queen, but it doesn't work simply because I now have queen takes b4, check. So I'm hitting the king, I'm hitting the bishop, I'm hitting the knight as well. Opponent blocks with queen d2. I have a think for a minute and I grab the knight. Okay. So, I'm feeling good at this point. I'm now up in material. And now he comes here. Now, at this point, that's blocked the queen's defense of the h2 pawn. I thought I could take that pawn, but then I figure it's more important for me right now to develop my final piece, connect the rooks, and apply pressure, because I can't see how he's going to castle safely. So I push c5. We have queen here, and clearly he's threatening checkmate on g7. So I push f6 pretty quickly. Queen comes back, and now I develop my knight, and he thinks for a while here. He played his first 19 moves or so in his first 15 minutes, and he's played his last 3 moves in 15 minutes as well. At this point, my opponent resigns. He's dead lost. He resigns. And I'm thinking that is one of the most disgusting tactical games that I've ever played. Now, let us go over to the chess.com analysis board, and we're going to go through the game from the start. Okay, so here's the game on chess.com. And remember, your role here is to guess the ELO. Okay, so this is inaccurate, but it's not bad. Blunder. It is a blunder. Okay, right move, best move, best move, best move, best move. Okay, and here black is indeed winning. Knight out, best move. So the queen has nowhere to go. This is a mistake. As I've already identified, bishop here just doesn't work. It falls to d3. Okay. It permits the opponent to eventually win a bishop, apparently. Okay, he brings his knight out, and that's a miss. What should he have done? Just push the pawn up. How he's going to win a bishop, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, he does this. I bring my bishop out. Another miss. What should I have done? d5. Okay, just getting some space, letting my bishop out. I could bring my bishop here. This guy's pinned, so he can't take. That would have made sense. I didn't do that. I did this. Knight comes back. Another miss. A mistake. Okay, hope you've written down your guess the ELO. c3, another miss. And now black is slightly better. That's another miss. Okay, best move. He finds the best move. Pawn d3. Well, he's got to look after his queen. Okay, I find a good move now with my knight in. He hits the knight, and now, because I couldn't think of any way to secure my queen, I was just worried about this kind of move coming in here and trapping the queen. And this is a miss. What should I have played? Going in there just trying to take out this knight, but then what if this? Let's have a look. I do that. Wow. Yeah, if he does that with my knight there, I can just trade off. And that would be winning. But I don't do this. I sack the knight. He takes. White is slightly better here. Okay, my queen comes out. Computer's saying h5. Sorry, h5 is a better move. But not that easy to spot. Okay, he comes in. That's a good move. I castle. Decent. b4 is the best move. And now this is a blunder. Apparently I should have captured on here, hitting the queen, and I'd have been okay. Okay, this is a blunder. He takes. Inaccurate. This is insanity. Absolute insanity. Okay, that's inaccurate. I played the best move, hitting the rook. Best move. Another mistake. Apparently I should have come here with the queen, putting at least double pressure on this knight. Man. Okay, anyway. So what's next? Knight in here, blunder. And this is where the game just falls apart. Okay? I take. And this is not the best move, because I had an in-between move. This knight is effectively undefended because the queen is in an absolute pin. Right, so the queen can't take. That was a great in-between move. I should have just took the knight. I didn't do that, but it is -3 here. Okay? That is the best move. Thank you very much, Fishy. Queen out. Best move. Queen back. And resigns. What the flip? Okay, what did you write down? Okay, have you got it? Let's look at the review. So here at this point, by the way, he's winning. Okay, and you can see here 1,000 for my opponent, who is, by the way, 1,300 rated in ECF terms. I'm like 1,560. I played 950. I play 5-minute blitz games at 1,900, 2,000, 2,100 sometimes. 950! And I spent half an hour. Slightly more. I finished with 40 minutes on the clock. He finished with 43 on the clock. I played 950! But none of that matters. Because what matters is winning the game. And I won the game. So here, what should he have done? Right? Instead of this blunder, he should have played A3. Just A3, defending. And white is completely winning here. Even though his pawns are in absolute tatters. But he's slightly up in material at this point. Why did I quit drinking? Right? And, by the way, so I've had a little bit of tea today, but I also had some dark chocolate. 85% chocolate. It's the first caffeine that I've had today in 25 days. Tiny bit of sugar in there as well. I thought I was buzzing. I was like I was on speed today. But God Almighty, I do not know what to make of this game. So, yeah, utter insanity. So let's see where I went wrong here, okay? So, obviously, I'm winning here, okay? This is not the best. Let's see what I should have done. Right. Here. Interestingly, this allows en passant. Okay? And now I need to move my king away. Or block with my bishop. But the best move is apparently king d8. I mean, this is... I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Right? I'm threatening the pawn, I guess. They now push d3. I don't even take the pawn. I play bishop g4 to pin the knight. 2 attackers on the knight. Alright, utterly ridiculous. I mean, guys, what can I say? What can I say? There are no words. Yeah, obviously this bishop's pinned and can't defend the knight. That would have been fine. Black's completely winning. All I can do is say my penance to the chess gods. It's the most ridiculous game ever. For the first half of this game, let's just pull up the graph again. First half of this game, I was crapping myself. Right? I thought I'd fallen into this guy's prep. There is some weird trap that if you play the most natural looking moves, which I clearly didn't do, that there's some way of trapping the queen. But there wasn't, and I managed to get the queen out. I managed to fight on. But actually in the second half of the game, when I thought I was all over him like a rash, like here, white is slightly better. Okay? After this, best move. And here, I shouldn't have done that. Here. And I thought about this. I looked at this so many times, but I'm losing a bishop there. But let's see what happens, right? Let's have a look at the analysis. Surely queen takes. Yeah, queen takes. Now I take the pawn with check. And it's even. That's all it is. Okay. But I did this. This. Again, not the best. Should have just dropped the queen back. Man, I honestly, I just can't get my head around this. Is this chocolate poisoning? I don't know. Don't know what's going on. But I think we need to draw a line under that. I'll take the win. I don't know if this is in any way entertaining, but a 9:50 game that I've spent more than 3/4 of an hour on against a slightly weaker opponent, there's no excuses. I mean, but it does go to show. I mean, I've been watching a lot of Levy's reviews, his summaries of the Tata Steel event that's been going on this week. And it's really interesting how, the computer eval goes backwards and forwards, but that's not what matters. This is what I'm really picking up about chess at the moment. The computer evaluation doesn't mean anything, okay? And I'm trying to maintain some kind of professional language. Computer evaluation is not really what's important, right? What's important is the psychology, who's on top. And actually, like we say, at this point in the game, my opponent is actually better. He's +2 here. Okay? He's still kind of +2. Here he's almost +5. White is hands down winning, but only if your name is Stockfish or Leela or something. Because in the real world, just blunder. That's insane. Move 18. Yeah. But just a blunder, right? And this is what happens. It's real world chess, guys. It's real world. I don't know. So I've said to my teammates, we need to set up an E team so that I can justify my place on it. Because this is just... There's no more words. There's no more words. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that this game gave you a modicum of enjoyment. I'm sure you learned absolutely nothing from it. I'm sure I've learned absolutely nothing from it as well. But, yeah, no more chocolate for me. Definitely not. And with that, I'm going to go and lie down. Thank you for watching. See you later.